started.
Might as well.
All right, 6:30.
When we left off, we had talked about whether or not we start renegotiating the annexation agreement. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sunset the agreement that's in place. We all were gonna talk about that. I don't know where we are while I clean up the mess here.
So what do you want to answer is for the annexation agreement?
Yeah, where do we stand with that? And that's where we left off, so I don't know if it makes sense to start there.
So, to our council advisory, he is basically indicating that, yeah, you guys could go into negotiations of a new annexation agreement. But he said he doesn't think that you should put in anything where you're gonna sunset anything. The reason why is because you just never know, well, what if in a year's time, you still haven't gotten an annexation agreement, now everything is now thrown out the door. So it's, to his opinion, it's just like, if you guys want to run into an agreement, we can start negotiating the terms of an agreement. But just to go ahead and say we will abolish the agreement that we have right now with nothing in place, that is also probably not advisable on his part. Going in any negotiations, whatever you're doing, right, wrong, or indifferent. But I think part of it is like there is a lot of language in the current agreement that kind of outlines already the how to acquire land for the city. We do have an annexation agreement that shows land that has been identified already, and if there's things that come up, then obviously there's going to be, negotiations or talk about that annexation of that parcel or that particular group. So unless that there is some sort of a emergency, that there is a landowner that is willing to, and the city is willing to, put up funds to put an infrastructure into a parcel of land that is already in the township, then, well, that needs to be talked about too. I mean, we're not here to stop you guys. We're just here to understand what you guys are looking for, and we don't want to jeopardize some of the land that we have already in the township, because these people have land in the township and that they like it in the township too. So there's a lot of different caveats to that. So until we can, go ahead and start going methodically through the agreement that we have right now and looking at each item and say, okay, what is it that you kind of don't like, what you do like, what can we agree upon, and then kind of keep on forging forward that way. And so that's kind of what I was advised to from today. I finally got a hold of our lawyer, so.
We did send you what we'd like changed, so there are 3 main points.
Okay.
Any feedback or any thoughts on what we would change that to?
I would have to re-look at what the 3 points were again. I guess I just basically send information up to Mike Curry about
Yeah, the email that I sent.
Yep,
You
yep.
want specifics, so those are the specific points.
Yep.
So what did you talk about there, Tark?
There were 3 points. I don't know if I printed them up here.
In town parcels, I think.
Yeah, one of them was the
The
islands,
anti-
the ability to annex parcels that are already surrounded by the
Oh,
city.
yep.
So that was one item. The second item was to have an agreement that has an end date or expiration date, so that
Sure.
we can keep on negotiating every 10, 15 years, whatever it is.
Yep.
And the third one was, I think it was fairly open to changing or updating the agreement to match some of the state statute provisions that are already there.
Yep. And I think when you start talking about it, I remember, the conversation with Mike, and he said, yes, definitely you can start putting in some sort of languages for that. And I think we did talk about it a little bit last time about the islands that we have already occurred here. Some of the things that we could potentially do is on the sale of a land, the landowner would be notified and say, hey, this here now is going to become part of the city because it has all the infrastructure that the city has already in there, and then we're not hostiling some of the people that are in that position right now. So I think that is something that we kind of agree with a little bit already. So that one,
Okay.
I think, would be a kind of a no-brainer on trying to work that language in there, as long as we can, say if there's any change of
Would that include if it like went from a father to a son? Would be a change of ownership.
That was gonna be my thought, is that anytime it changes ownership, regardless of whether that's a sale or not.
I would say as long as it's changing ownership, and no matter what ownership it is.
Because that would be, new,
Yep,
as far as the county and everything, it'd be a new owner.
Once it's redeeded.
yep. I'm not only talking to myself, but,
I mean, if they do a gentleman's handshake and keep it in the father's name, there ain't much we can do.
Or if it's in a family trust.
Well, that was my thought, is I'm just looking at these to see if there are any that are in trust. Because my thought is, change of ownership or, 10 years, whichever is first. Does that make sense? And that gives people 10 years to prep.
I think within 10 years, most of those are already gonna be sold, but I don't know if we want to sunset that. He wants to put a limit on everything, so. And the Aaron's, the Putzkis, Jerry Mayer,
I think there's 6 of them.
yeah.
Greenhouse.
Yeah, that's Aaron's, Jerry Mayer. There's one more down there, then you got Eric Putzke and back behind.
The guy right across from the school bus, it's like a portion of his backyard.
Yeah, something in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bill.
The house, I think, is actually city, but a portion of the backyard is township. I don't
is
know how that
that, how
happened.
big a parcel is it?
Not very big at
There's
all.
nothing that sets on it.
And then nothing can be built on it either, right?
I don't know if you put a shed or not.
I don't,
I just know it's not very big.
bigger than what will go in there.
Kate, you said it's separate.
Oh,
Yeah, and, Mayor's shed.
Jerry Mayer's building's in the township, yeah.
I think that's still his, or is it Ron's?
Island his name.
It's in Jerry's name, yeah.
Or shared?
I'm sure Ron will use it,
Yeah, I know he's got stuff with boats,
yeah.
but I mean, that's,
But I didn't come into this thinking 10 years, but the thought just occurred to me, so, I mean, I just don't want to be coming back 15 years from now, or have whoever else is here coming back going, why do we still have these islands? And it turns out, well, it's because it's been sitting in the Neil Herzberg Family Trust and it hasn't transferred. So,
Well, I believe that would also fall under a transfer of ownership, whether it goes from that parent who owned it at the time that it was not annexed and left in the township, which was way back when. When did Minnie Street develop and all that become, man, I don't know. I don't remember.
once it's in a trust like that, does it always stay in a trust, or do you have to change, do the people change it, or no?
not unless the trust sells it. So
it's
like,
dissolved.
or it's dissolved, right? So like, I could create a Ranky Family Trust and put my house in the trust. And then when I die, my kids become the trustees, but the trust still owns it. So effectively, they're taking over it, but from a legal perspective, it's still owned by the same corporation.
But at what time does that change, though?
Just
They
when
sell
the
it?
trust is first created. So like,
And what would how would that trust be affected if it becomes from township to city property?
it wouldn't. Yeah. It would just, the trust would stay the same. It would just be that the property is within the
Now,
city.
the trust owns the city taxes, not the township account.
Right.
There's more than one reason to,
That fall under their rules and permitting and ordinances and everything else that pertains to the difference between city and town.
Yeah, it's just, if it's there, so if the triggering event for these islands is sale or transfer, if it's in a trust, there may not be a sale or transfer for decades or generations. So that's what I was saying. If that's the case, to be put
Well,
in
I
a
think the
timeline.
trust would be developed firsthand, because if it's in a deceased person's name yet, people can come after that.
It's its own separate entity.
But you don't have a living person that owns it.
it
Sure,
transfers
it's
to the
the trust.
trustees,
Yeah, if it goes to a trust, you said if it doesn't go to a trust.
If it doesn't go to a trust, right, then it's gonna transfer when the person dies or whatever.
yeah.
So, and I don't know that there are any. I just,
Last time I looked, one of them were in a trust. Your island spots, but I haven't looked at them for,
wow.
So, yeah, so number one would be kind of, you know, we recognize that we need to do something with that, definitely. It's just a matter of that trust.
to include, transferring to a trust. I
Yep.
guess. And if they want to spend the monies to fight that or litigate that in court to get a ruling on it, I guess then that's when it's going to be understood.
Right. Right, because it's transferring and then on to death, it's just, because the whole idea of having that whole, the person wanting to be in the township, that was his idea, or whoever owned that at that point, but once he's deceased, I think it's all free game to be,
Well, here's my concern. Here's just where I'm at. We'll take Angie at the greenhouse, because I know she's probably gonna be the most vocal. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
She catches wind, okay, we're negotiating this is something that is on her radar. Now she's gonna run out and throw it in a trust, and it's gonna be the Painesville Greenhouse Trust. And, before the ink dries on this agreement, it's transferred. So now, that's locked up. What do we do? Because when she dies, that property won't transfer to her kids or whomever takes over her estate. It stays the Painesville Greenhouse Trust forever,
Till it would be sold.
till it would be sold, which could happen.
Which probably would happen because
Yeah, no one's
the
gonna
next
keep
people
it.
might see what the value of that really is. Beyond.
yeah, and nobody's gonna be paying taxes if they're not living here or not doing nothing, it's just,
It might be much ado about nothing.
Theoretical, it could happen, I agree. So I
well,
don't.
could we write it within there on upon the death of the owner, period?
Trust is a legal entity, so it doesn't die.
Doesn't die, lives forever.
I mean, what if you say annexation of these properties will occur in 5 years?
Let's back up here a second.
Put a timeline on it.
We have to distinguish whether it's revocable or irrevocable.
No, that's, Tarek's saying 5 years,
Okay, yeah,
so, yeah,
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
it's the appetite on that.
I think
Sounds like
at
it's
some
held
point,
up.
these properties need to be evolved into the city limits, just to square up the.
Just the boundary lines.
Yes, it's, I understand the concept and the reasons behind the people not wanting to be in the city. It's plain and simple. However, for how many years now, they have become accustomed to, you guys put a watering ban on, watch this. I have my own well, I can water all I want. I'm going to put a new furnace in my basement, I don't need to go get a permit. There's benefits to it. Their wells are good and their septics are passing, so they feel they don't need to become city entities. They both
Well,
in the township.
would there be something in there that we could do with that, where the only time that it would have to be hooked up to city sewer and water is if there's failed?
Well, that's kind of written in the current agreement.
Is it?
Upon failure of
So,
water and sewers,
so then they will
that
be
the
subject
city
to it.
needed to annex it.
And Tarek, I don't think, and if you've got a paper copy of the agreement, I'd like to see it, but I don't think our agreement requires water and sewer hookup upon annexation.
It doesn't.
I don't have.
And the current agreement doesn't prevent them from
Right, I mean,
putting in a new well or a sewage system if they desire. Correct?
You have it in last week's, it was in last week's document.
Right here, if requested.
I mean, the only basis right now to request annexation is for water and sewer. But certainly if we were to amend this, we wouldn't need to require it.
Yes, the 50% of whatever, or they can request it due to need of water and sewer. So eventually water and sewer is gonna have, but if they're not in need of water and sewer, we do not have to allow the annexation to go through.
Oh, that's just for that.
But wouldn't the sewer have to meet the code? Because I know that.
Sewer, yeah, septics are inspected by the county,
Yeah, I know at one point. in time,
permitted through the county.
Around the lake to get a building permit, your sewer had to be up to code, it couldn't be grandfathered in.
Right, and anytime a place is sold,
Yeah.
and they come inspect periodically your septic system to make sure it's working where they're supposed to.
I like the upon switch of ownership, but then, that maybe 5 years ain't enough, but 10 or 12 or whatever across the board. I mean, half of the current owners, probably in 12 years, are gonna be in the same place all,
Or not?
well,
Well, further south.
You're not going anywhere.
yeah.
People as ornery as used to
You
grow
get over
forever.
82, 84, you know, you end up like Biden, or, you know. I don't
You'd be
have
so
Dr.
lucky.
I don't have Dr. Jill to cover for me.
You'd be so lucky.
Thought he was having a stroke.
Can we put it tight?
That's why I said you'd be so lucky.
I would assume so. And then just set out notice that effective, I mean, I don't know how to write that or what to write, but, and that's all gonna have to run through the legal system of, is this what we can or cannot do to notify these residents of this is our intent? So eventually the city is squared up and little islands of the township are not within the city limits, which which would make sense to 99.9% of people, I believe.
I mean, I think at some point, we're each going to have to approve this at our public meetings, and that may generate some public comment, I imagine, at that time.
Well, I would assume that would have to follow the same regime of, in order of an annexation. To push those through to be annexed into the city. It has to have a start and it has to have a finish, and in there is going to be public opinion, at which time those homeowners are gonna come in and not be happy.
Well, okay.
Or some of them aren't really gonna care.
Here's what I'm
Because
thinking.
if you don't require them to hook up to city water and sewer and they don't need it, I mean, you got Jerry Murray, he just got a garage, why does he need city water and sewer?
Right.
So that expense is not there, he's gonna just have to follow under the city guidelines.
So let me just think out loud for a hot second. If this agreement were not in place, the state statute that controls says that we can annex property that's within the city limits.
Yeah.
Doesn't say that we have to, just says that we can. I don't know that we want an agreement that says we're going to. So perhaps the better language would be, we won't until either ownership transfers or upon 10 years, whichever comes earlier. And at that point, then that property is no longer prohibited. And then, should we choose at that time, then it would follow whatever statute controls at that point.
Which puts it still remains a mystery if we're going to, but you know you're going to.
If the makeup of the council is the same then as it is now, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But even just to clean it up, like you said, just to clean it up so that you don't have these islands out there. And, you know, we can all appreciate having the ability to do different things. You know, I'm not necessarily too concerned about where I live because I don't have city all the way around me. I would be if I would have had city all the way around me that, hey, it's not gonna be too much longer. And I know that I have to be in the city limits because there are services that you guys do provide and we recognize that. So, but yeah, I think we can at least put that down as a discussion we can have with our lawyers too on how that might look, so we can write that up into this next agreement, moving forward, you know, with that idea. But again, these are just hot
The
points.
sale of, or the need of, or within 10 years.
At the owner's request, at the sale, or 10 years. That's kind of where I'm thinking.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, that's pretty simple.
There's some hypotheticals that are possible within the next 10 years, you know, such as where Ampey Park is at, or a little bit west, like Maywood going over to 34. And I can't remember who owns that land back there.
Long time ago, Lowitz,
No, it's.
Tony's someone.
Oh, Bingston.
been,
Yeah, up in that area. I mean, it's, you can tell that the housing is encroaching into his area. What happens if he gets an offer that he can't refuse, but the offer states we need city water and sewer, then what happens?
Well, then we go through the same agreement, we have that listed out already, how that would look.
Okay.
I mean, there's things that they would have to make sure that there's funds in place of both the city and this developer.
Yeah.
More than likely the developer, because you're gonna pawn it everything back onto the developer to get the roads and everything up to date. And then we're kind of like, okay, well, I guess that makes sense because,
yeah, at which time then the
And that's one, Paul.
percentage of the tax dollars coming in comes back to us
Many
for.
businesses, some
or we
developers,
could negotiate something
and
different.
that's the shade hair,
Yeah.
and they will not sell, period.
Okay.
And there's a brother in Ohio or someplace,
So it wasn't too long ago that there was a flip
township
side.
probably don't have to worry about that property.
We're looking
They
at,
love it. It's the Shane hair
okay,
property, it's Bingston married to Shane hair. And all that property, I don't think money can buy.
so,
And that includes that parcel by the Welcome to Painesville sign,
Yep,
that farm field. That's
Um,
had many offers and it's not for sale.
didn't, Flipson offer to sell 400 and some acres to the city? They went through.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, but that would have been
But
township.
that's farm.
It's farmland, which can to get turned into residential. But, I mean, this is just hypothetical now.
Right, anything.
Yeah,
But
so,
right now, with the state farmland, but that, we did not want to pay us for this.
well, I understand that. But if there's a developer that said, hey, let's do this, you know, it's a 400 some acres. We could put quite a development in there, but we need water and sewer. Then we're gonna have to approach the township for that, because it's outside of the limits.
Well, our current agreement has, that can work if a developer goes to the township and says, this is my plan. We need water and sewer, and chances are it's gonna get the,
But if I understand it right now, we need permission from the township to talk to the developer first, right?
Hold on. We're going
Okay.
down so many rabbit holes.
Okay,
Let's stay with where we were at.
all right.
We were talking
Some
about-
hypotheticals.
That's what gets us in trouble.
Gotcha.
We were talking about the island issue, and it sounds like we have at least the rough outline of a tentative agreement, which is that on request, transfer of ownership, 10 years, then we can. Tentative, okay. I mean, the other sticking point that's sort of a sore subject is the fact that if the city's in contact with any type of developer, the agreement as it's written doesn't allow us to say, you know, annexation is an option if you wanted to come into the city. We can't even say that, which seems counterintuitive if people are calling us to talk about properties.
I don't know that I've ever read that. But that doesn't make sense to me.
And according to our legal, basically had said that it doesn't make sense either to him why that was put in there. But he said that, just like anything else, is that if there's a developer that wants to develop anything around Paynesville, whether it's in the township or in the city, obviously the builder themselves are gonna have to come up with some big funds because the city is not in a position to put in roads and sewer and water and stuff like that for a new development. So, if that's the case, then you go in together and say, okay, this is what the idea is, and then we start talking about the negotiations of what that might look like. But yeah, according to what our lawyer said, he would recommend that, you know what, do it jointly, that makes it smoother for everybody involved.
And I'm just,
So it's not just a developer working with you and all of a sudden you come slamming down our throat and say, here you go, this is what we're gonna do.
So, yeah, there's language that should be changed, right?
so it kind of sounds like we've got an
Number
agreement.
one,
We're just
like
gonna strike that out.
interpretation.
Okay.
Who interprets what?
Yeah.
Then my question is, if we do the island thing, change ownership 10 years, do we stay with the current agreement on number 8, which is on page 3, where 100% for 8 years to the township? If, well, the city would have services going by, how does that agreement work?
This is already in line with the state statute. The state statute says you do it over 5 years in a declining rate.
Okay, but
90, 70,
what about the island ones where you already have water and sewer going by?
that would be the same because those coffers are going back to the township instead of an immediate loss of tax dollars. It's kind of prorated out through 5 years, dwindles down to nothing.
So it'd be 50%, correct?
I think it starts at 90, 70.
No? Or is that a different,
Are you
Yeah.
reading something else?
97, 50,
where are you reading?
number 8.
Okay, well, is that a different? Maybe that's been changed.
Oh, that's for the island properties? Not anywhere?
The township shall receive 100% of the taxes to the annexed property,
That's the only.
That's a service.
including city sewer and water for up to a maximum of 8 years.
City
If the
services.
city services, including sewer and water, are installed on the annexed property
And this is yours?
prior to the expiration.
All right.
Then after installation of services. is-
So there's kind of like two different paths in there or what?
Okay, so it'd be 90, 70, 50, 30, and that would be the, what, the,
Yeah, the state
even for
statute
the
lines
islands
up
or any
with
of
this.
this?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, yeah, I mean, that seems to work.
Sorted.
I was on the old agreement, where it was 100% for so many years.
Well, that's gonna be a problem.
The new agreement is a little more
So
favorable.
was that, Tarek, was that for the island ones?
Yeah, no, it's
It's just for anyone?
So it'd be the same for the island ones.
And I would say, if there's a problem with that, the taxes is not my concern. I think that,
Well, I mean, I think this is workable for, it has been, and I mean, if you get the language and other things straightened out, I don't think that's a big problem.
well,
But does go 90, 70, 50, 30, 10 for 5 years.
Yeah,
So after 5 years, it's 100.
yeah, because that, like it's.
So apparently there's a newer agreement.
This one is, I'll tell you the dates.
Yeah, the old agreement was,
Yeah.
I was on the,
This is September 28th, and then this other one is October.
first one, and there's the second one.
Yeah.
Five. I had seen this one. I read the one that's 90, 70.
Renegotiate.
Is that the newer, is that the newer agreement?
Yeah, one is in
I don't think it's worth
October
quarreling over a
2010,
few years worth of taxes when in perpetuity.
one is September 05. So actually, the September 2010, the first one that you saw, Neil, that is a new one.
Okay. Well, why did it go from,
What year was
it
it?
went from,
2010 is a newer one.
well, that's what I thought.
2005.
I like the old one much better.
Yeah,
Who the heck agreed to that?
So that, so that you're reading the old one, right?
Yeah.
He's reading
The
the
old
old.
one is according to state statute, the new one isn't.
Oh, okay. So which one is better for me?
New one.
The new one.
Oh,
It's 100% for 8 years. The old one seemed like a,
Yeah,
Who was on it?
it's done in 5 years and dwindles down to 50%.
well, I think it was Gene Sine, Chuck Bertram, Dennis Zimmerman. Yeah.
what do you-
Renee
Kirk, what do you
Eckerly
think
and
in
Jeff
the-
Thompson signed.
for the agreement, so what's the
I
state?
mean, the old one that says 90, 70, 50, 30, 10, that's state statute. I mean, that, to me, that's
What we should be doing then, right?
that's the one that makes sense, yeah. We'll be in line with the rest of the state.
And if I remember right, the vote was 3-2.
It was. But they didn't name. In the minutes, the name was not there. How they voted. That would have been.
Yeah, it was, I saw it.
Huh?
Jeff was the deciding vote on that one because it was tied.
I
It was Bertram and Zimmerman voted against it. Gene,
And
Jeff,
yeah, no,
and Beavers.
Beavers. Gene and Sonia and Gene Beavers voted for it, and then Jeff Thompson
It was
was
the
for it.
27th of October, 2010.
Yeah,
3 in favor, 2 against.
Oh, good. So this,
Yeah, I'd like to see that go back to the original agreement, which is the state.
25.
is this, where'd you get this one from?
That one.
Oh, Lori. Here's the old one. It has the 750.
I don't know why I put that state statute in it, why would we?
Well,
I have theories.
yeah, that's,
Well, I mean, it would be better.
would have been much simpler.
This one's 20.
I don't know how this occurred, but you look at the names on
But
the sheets. and
resolution.
Some people got outsmarted, I guess, is how I'd sum it up.
Rerouting of 23 has happened. And it has.
you need that?
It's like, is he gonna go burn it?
Yeah.
Years, every year.
I think it has to help.
How'd you copy it so quick?
I didn't. I'd asked Kristen to print it off a little earlier. And then I assumed she just didn't have access to it, but it was computer trouble. I should have known better.
Yep.
Who's gonna pay our legal rights to all that?
You guys want to just should we just go back to the state statute?
If you're willing.
I think we, well, all the board members are here, we have to talk about it too, so I have put that as a maybe potential.
Well, to cover your main interest to sunset or end the current agreement, or do we start negotiating, rewriting a new one? Because we don't feel we should give this one up until the new one is agreed upon. Because like you said, if it takes longer than whatever date we were to put on it, then we sit here with nothing with an open agreement. At least this way, we still have some.
I just don't want us to drag 3, 6, 8 years without coming up with something.
Well, but I think we're making pretty good progress right now. You had 3 items that we wanted to negotiate, and we have come up with maybe a solution to them. So I don't think this is in vain right now, so maybe identify another areas that you are looking at potentially could be an issue.
Okay.
And then we can hopefully get that to us before the day before, or the hour before.
Here's what I would this is me, as council, we haven't talked about it, but we've got this Exhibit A, which is all of the lands that are subject to this agreement.
Yes.
Why does that need to be in there? Shouldn't it just be all land abutting the city of Painesville within a half mile or something like that?
I believe that would kind of put boundaries on annexation, the way I read it. If I interpret it, anything not within the joint annexation area is left alone. And it was,
And I think they identified the ones that are at risk. I mean, you look at Heatherwood, fairly populated, and if something would go wrong over there, early annexation would be appropriate.
all your little pockets.
So, and then it gave you a little bit of input on what building processes that are going to be put up in those areas as well. So it's not just what, we're coming up with on our end, which, but it was kind of an idea, I think, that to protect both the city, or the township and the city, is saying, this is kind of where we're thinking that our expansion is gonna go to. Because there's other places where, you got the lagoons over there, you're not gonna be putting anything by the lagoons. And we now have all the solar gardens north of town here. And then you have one just across the river here. But you do have, Furchie has another 40 acres that is kind of identified as the city expansion, whether it's industrial or whatever. So we identified that already. So there's 40 acres. And plus then there's another 16 acres over by the John Deere place or something like that. So, I think there's areas pockets that you guys can continue growing in and stuff without infringing on anything more, because then if you go west of town, you have the farmers over there, are they going to be, giving up what they have over there for their farms? Probably not so much. You got the lowland west of town too, that is gonna be subject to. You can go Ampy's farm and through, what's his name, that owns all that acres over there? What's his name? The insurance guy.
Oh, Dombrowski.
Dombrowski's has acres and acres over there that, you know, where that other development that you have are adjacent to, and those that are subjected to, you know what, if that's where cities continue migrating, well, I mean, that's, again, part of the annexation agreements as we move forward with all that stuff.
I hate this map, I can't read this.
Which might all come, everything east of here when the water tables have completely contaminated from the landfill.
Yeah.
Heard about that this week too.
You heard that, too? Okay. Oh, that's good. Well, we got a good water supply here in town, so.
Yeah, they sell it by the bottle. $3 for 30 of them at
Yeah.
Costco.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, besides that, I think,
So I get the sentiment of keep this in place until we've worked something out. I think you probably also understand the sentiment of, well, let's not kick this can down the road. Let's keep building on the momentum we've got. What's the best way to do that? I'm wondering, would it make sense for 2 council members to sort of be appointed and we can head up there from time to time, or meet at Shady's or the brewery or something like that, and hammer some of this out, and bring proposals back? I know the last time it was one person working, 1 council member, 1 township member, and
I don't think we're gonna get anywhere that way. That's why it probably didn't go anywhere far fast.
Well, and yeah, and the problem with
that's what I'm thinking.
that with us is you get 2 of us as a quorum. no matter
I
what.
know, I know, that's why I thought, well, we can come up there and do whatever, but
So then, yeah, to just have meetings versus having an open meeting.
Well, if we keep meeting monthly, we should be able to hammer this out by the end of the year.
I mean, especially when we're identifying, I mean, I don't think there's a lot to be identified on this here agreement. It's just, you know, the 2
Clarify,
highest ones,
clean a little bit of it
Yeah.
up,
you know, and then go from there.
restructure. Which you 2 ramrods can get together, bring it to us at a meeting and go over it and say, here's what we're thinking. If you agree with me, go for it and move forward. On each board.
so.
New agreement, we definitely want to end it.
Yep, and that is advised too.
Yeah, so why don't we, I'd say a month. How about a month and a half, because otherwise we're running into the 4th.
You want to go through your town and country days before you evolve into something very busy?
Well, here's what I'm thinking is, if we agree to come back mid-July for another one of these meetings, we can send you over a sort of mock, I guess, agreement.
Yeah, something that you've identified that you want to address and maybe
Right.
what you don't like, just a small dissertation of, here's what we're looking at, here's what we'd like, you guys go over it, we can rebut. And when it comes down to pretty much, we have it, then meet together and go, okay, hammer out the small stuff.
When are your July meetings?
Second and fourth.
Second and fourth Tuesday.
So 14th and 28th?
Yeah.
So if we agreed to meet like July 15th or 16th, that'd be right after your meeting. And then we could shoot to send you something like that week before, like July 8th. And you'd have it in time for your meeting so you can all discuss. And then
Yeah.
we're back here that 16th or 7th, or, you know, that following week.
And then everybody would have a chance to,
Discuss it with their own councils.
Sure.
What day of the week is that?
Monday or
Well,
Tuesday?
Yeah, the 15th and 16th is Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday, we had,
I like Wednesdays too, because there's no church meetings or,
Donna thinks she has a meeting.
well,
downtown street one that day.
We can cancel that.
I mean, we couldn't. I think that's when that is. You know,
I mean, or we could look that week after the 22nd. That would work better for me, actually. And that would,
I'm okay with that.
And that would be in between. Yeah.
that way, if when you're talking, if you need to send something over to Mike and get feedback from him, gives you a little bit more time there.
So what day?
22nd, 6
Yeah,
o'clock.
22nd, 6 or 6:30.
30 get too late for me.
Okay.
What's that?
That's
6:30, I go to bed by 7.
your bedtime thing?
Would Jen be okay if I peeked at her calendar?
Actually, I forgot.
No, her paper one.
Oh, no, go ahead.
What's that?
5:45, and I was like, well, there's nobody here.
6 PM, is that what we agreed on?
Oh, we changed it to 6:30. I went,
Steve, what's good for you, 6 AM?
that's really good for me.
Nope.
Have my days in already by that time.
I'm sure it is.
What time?
Well, you want 6 or 6:30? I don't. 6 o'clock, get in, get it done.
We'll send
Say
Brenda.
anything?
She's at work anyways.
Okay, fine.
There's an airport meeting at 5, but I don't think that's really gonna happen. It hasn't been noticed yet, so, and even if it is, that'll be done by 6. I'll make sure of it.
Monday, 6.
Well, we go 6:30, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think let's just do July 22nd at 6.
July 22nd, 6 o'clock. I'm just saying it so Kristen can hear.
Sure.
So we'll meet July 22nd at 6 o'clock again. City will endeavor to send you something as soon as possible, but hopefully no later than the 8th. We had talked at the last meeting then about the $60 an hour for trail work. Neil did some digging on that, found some minutes from the trail board from 2022, was it?
Yes,
Where the
November 16, 2022.
Yeah, the trail board recommended increasing the rate to $60 an hour, and for whatever reason, it never made its way to council. So that was a recommendation by the board at that time. We've been operating apparently under that agreement ever since. So I think it would be appropriate to just bring that to council and make it official. But I know you were gonna do some math on your end.
Yep, we did do some math, figuring in the new rates that we're giving our staff, and then also the new lawnmower and gas prices, and what did we come up with?
$80.
$80 an hour, $40 per entity. And knowing that now we have a zero turn, hopefully we won't put as many hours as we did last year.
Time should cut way down.
Yeah. So, yeah, everything's getting more expensive.
I know it rained a lot last year and trees and everything, but we went from 24, it was 10,386, our half was 5193. Last year was 23,435, 13,050 increase. Our half was 11,717. I mean, we're getting to the point that we're almost further ahead to hire another 67-day man and use our equipment and divide the trail in half. Use
And
half
that's your, and that's
Do
your,
what you wish.
yeah, that, and we're not
I
making
mean,
money.
we're almost,
We're not making money.
Do as you
No.
wish.
but I mean, a part of me thinks that's maybe the fairest way, I don't know.
Okay, fire away.
Well, Lee said you're pretty good at riding a lawnmower.
I wasn't today. My days are numbered.
You can practice on that thing out there.
And I don't know, for this year, we have the agreement, I think we're almost in, we're already mowing and doing, but
Well, I don't know about that.
We should see what this year ends up as.
Costs have absolutely gone up.
Compare all 3 years together from here to here and it might drop back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
But
wait till.
no different than our fire contract either.
Yep.
Just like,
That's going up.
that's going up, $50,000 increase from one year to the next.
Whatever what we agree upon, it's always more.
But that's basically, we just took the numbers. Basically, we took our tractor, brand new tractor, figured the average life of it, divided that out with hours that we basically pay our staff, times that by 30% because of the other shit that we give them. I shouldn't say shit give them, but I mean the other benefit that we give. And then gas and oil and all that other stuff. That's maintenance, yeah. So basically, yeah, we're coming in at just, and we were first actually going to go higher than that, but I think, you know, we were at 60 last time, and let's try 80, and hopefully that then we can cut our mowing down, especially with the zero turn.
Well, and that, I don't think that that's an overly inflated number. I know when we build the city of Lake Henry for our public works stuff, I think we're at, what, $100 an hour for some of that? And if Dan goes over there, it's 140 or 140.
Oh, we should do negotiation. We should look at that.
Note that.
Note that.
I mean, at what point
But,
does it make sense to split it in half and use our equipment and our men?
Well, that's what I was suggesting, wait till see where this year ends up, and then.
Well, I'm willing, but I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Then we can dig into it a little bit deeper in the wintertime or whatever, and figure out from there.
and to split the trail equal might be a little tough too, because there's some areas.
Boundary related.
Huh?
It would end up being boundary related.
How many miles
Where does the city start and where does the township start? We'll mow ours, you mow yours.
Well, we don't have half
Yeah, they don't have half. We got 13 miles. They only.
Most of the trail is in the township.
Yeah.
I believe the trail agreement is to split the cost.
Well,
we don't want to mow your part. I'll mow my streets.
Yeah, no, we don't want to.
I'll drive my bundles out here to do stuff.
Well, that's that mile and a half.
be determined.
Yeah.
If we hired somebody, we'd be looking at about $13,500 a year, plus our own equipment, plus our own benefits and other time on that. So,
Your part-time is next to no benefits.
right, but there's still some stuff on it. There's also admin time on processing that, and hiring, taking on new people. I don't know that we're there yet. I don't think 80s are reasonable. It's just, it's a 30% increase. That's a bitter pill to swallow. But that doesn't mean it's wrong.
And that's why we came out, because last time we talked about it, was like, let's look at really true costs, what it's about, amounts to and stuff, And it's a lot of money.
How long is that yard master gonna last? It's 36 years old. And they don't give those away.
The what? No, the good news is that electric cars are getting cheaper every day.
Electric?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so is that okay in that direction for the mowing?
Well, that'll have to go to council, but I imagine.
Can you, just to placate the public, I think it is based on our conversations here, but can you just send over that analysis? Here's how we got to this number, and even if it's just an email, and then we'll throw it to council and say,
Sure.
we think this is fair.
We can put it down into a formula about that long.
As long as you can explain it.
I'll just go ahead and say, Steve, walk us through the math here.
New math or old math?
I barely understand old, so.
Painful math.
Let's go old math.
Then you have something together here for the salt shed? shed or the salt?
I sent the draft agreement, the main change was you guys are gonna come up with a markup per ton. And notify us beforehand when you buy what the price is.
Well, the salt is all pre-government. What is?
Oh, the state contracts.
State contract through
Yeah, we
the,
get it basically one time. We buy it.
How much
buy in the
do we
spring.
order?
Yeah, and I think this last time we ordered 100 ton or 75 ton, one of the two, I gotta look back, but.
yes. Obviously, some winters we use more than others. Just like mowing. So we can take this home and we can tweak it up at ours and we'll get back together and see if we agree on everybody's tweaking.
Yeah, we shouldn't need to use this one before we regroup in July.
We bought the salt already, so we can put those numbers down on the same itinerary as the mowing.
Yeah, that's really the change,
Every day.
it's just the per ton and then a markup, otherwise the agreement is the same.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so you, just action items, you're gonna send us just a brief summary of how we got to that $80 number so we can put it in our agenda packet. Vote on that at an upcoming meeting. We include a proposed start date on that. That's something we haven't talked about. We've been operating under $60 an hour. The agreement says, what, 45?
We can go with 60 as
We're
long as
going
you want.
60.
Right.
You can go until you guys meet on next council meeting, I guess.
Next week, Monday.
Yeah. Is it just,
So keep going until it gets approved to whatever it is.
yeah. Okay, so I just want to make sure that's, so we all know what to expect. We will get you some markup on the annexation stuff so that you have time to review it before your next meeting. And then you will take a look at the salt thing and you can regroup on that in July. And we'll come back July 22 at 6 Mills. 6 Mills.
No injuries between then and now?
Do what?
No injuries.
I
You make it.
We'll see.
No promises. Now that Neil's got a golf cart,
I saw that. I got scared. I parked on the street.
You got turbo in it.
even backed
I'll
into
tell
the
you
spot
what,
out there.
yesterday, I was up at the truck stop, and two young guys, and I'm not gonna say their names, came in there with, I thought was, electric bike.
So the electric dirt bike they were ripping around in the ditches.
They were good looking, but blue was that one, and I kinda looked him over, and Paulie Dietrich was out there, and I said, well, those, to be on an electric bike, you gotta have pedals, don't you? Well, they're not really a bike. I said, well, they're an electric motorcycle. Well, not really. I said, well, you don't have a license. Well, and then the one kid said, well, you gotta be 15 to have a license. And I didn't see if they're riding in the ditch. I mean, they're like an electric dirt
Yeah,
bike.
they're riding in the ditch.
Is what, I mean, I guess if they ride in the ditch,
They-
probably not be 15, I don't
Technically,
know.
they can't ride them in the ditch, but technically it's not a motorcycle and it's not a bicycle.
Yeah.
Well, it's an electric motor.
Legislation
Then I asked
is working
him,
on classification.
I said, how fast does that go? And he said 60. It's got a tire that wide.
You watch them in the
He didn't,
ditch,
he wasn't wearing a helmet.
they'll ride wheelies just like on a regular
Well,
dirt bike through the whole ditch.
He took off, I mean, it was a streak,
Yeah.
faster than a
They are
motorcycle.
fast.
I watch them every morning.
Yep, me too. Right down our,
Yep.
right down our street.
Well, yeah, the
They
one,
come
the
up
one
and
was
around.
your neighbor, the red one.
Then head up the hilltop.
Yep.
I think they went up by Ted's. I think they might be.
Are they working at Ted's?
Us,
I don't know if they work there.
our friends with the,
Our friends there,
but
but
that's where they went. They came into, I was talking to Paulie, and they bought some goodies, and I thought maybe they were on money, for.
All right, does somebody want to call it?
Yeah, I'm calling it.
all right, call
All
it.
right, I'm gonna say 7:30.
Yeah, we can hit